Perfect. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Today we have the fourth EIP-7928 Breakout call. It's October the 8th, and we have a rather lightweight agenda today. So first, we wanted to talk about what we couldn't finish or what we couldn't take a decision on 2 weeks ago, namely the topic of block level access list hash versus block level access list root. Then I'm hoping we can get some updates from clients about progress, about yeah, testing and how everything is going. And finally, we can talk about yeah, definite block level access list definite as soon as possible. Great. Let's start into the discussion with block level access list hash versus block level access list root. And I would be curious if clients have like changed their opinion or updated their opinion last week. The default was more on the keep it as is side, so that we keep the block level access list as it is and consider moving to a block level access list route in the future when partial stateless nodes become a more important thing. But yeah, the pre-confirmation team shared their work with everyone here, so I'm curious what clients think about this topic. No update, then I would just assume that we just stick with the block level access list hash and don't change it at this point. Great, then let's keep it as is. Before we get into client updates, I wanted to bring up this point by Marchel in the Discord. Namely, he wanted to open the discussion around precompiles. We already discussed how we treat precompiles a few calls ago, but I would still want to give Marshall the opportunity to voice his opinion here.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly bring this up. So yeah, most people were against it last time, but I just kind of had a look into the code to see sort of what it would be like to implement this way. And it just seems cleaner to me to not include the pre-compiles if they're just called, or if you take like the code size or copy code, then in all these cases, or certainly in the Nevermind code, like this doesn't access the state at all. So whereas for all of the other block access list stuff, like you can quite neatly do it by just sort of noting the change whenever you kind of go into the state. This goes down like a different code path. So I mean it's doable, but it just seems a bit more like ugly to me. But yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else agrees with that, but I'm happy to go either way, really.
Yeah, I can definitely see the rationale behind this. Essentially, we would never have a precompile included in the block level access list with empty changes where nothing changes. Things like balance changes are still possible, and that would then essentially be the only way a precompile could ever be included in the block level access list, if I'm not wrong here. And we would then just remove all precompile addresses from the block level access list if there are no changes related to it. So this would be just a description to look from it from a different angle.
I feel like I, and I need to look into this, but I feel like the if the target account of this operation of whatever one of these operations is a precompile, and these fall under the EIP 2929 cold account like load cost model, if that makes sense. I feel like it might make sense um to do what Mark is saying here. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add what I just said, because I think Rakita correct Dragan corrected me correctly there, because also if we call like balance on a precompile, we still want the balance, we still want the precompile in the block level access list, right? So essentially we are now talking about differentiating between certain opcodes when it comes to precompiles.
Yeah,
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't do that.
yeah. On one hand, I understand that precompile should be form and we should have those accounts available. But on the hand, I would like to be for block level access to be like covering everything. If we touch account, it should be inside block access list.
Yeah, I mean, the point that I'm making here is like in these cases, you're not actually like touching the state or any accounts. So let's say like in Nethermind, it goes down like a completely different code path, and it's nothing that you would need when executing either. But that wouldn't be the case for like balance or anything else except for those specific ones where it doesn't touch the state.
Yeah, I think external code size, external code is those opcodes are not that great, but they're needed. So yeah, I would stick to having like let's include everything just to not make different rules around it. But yeah.
I'm just echoing what Karim is also saying in the chat, agreeing with Dragan, for the sake of, yeah, lower complexity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to go with that. It's just like I said, it depends on the code base. For us, it's like slightly more complexity to actually add them, but like still negligible. So it's just whatever works best for everyone, I guess.
Awesome. Then just to summarize that, regarding precompiles, we will include the precompiles if they are called in any opcode, no matter what, which means that we will have precompiles in the block level access list with completely empty changes. For example, if you call the balance opcode on a precompile. Great. Perfect. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up regarding this point or regarding the changes you proposed for the EIP?
Yeah, I can quickly mention. So there's this other change that I suggested around an edge case with balance changes. So specifically in the case that we have a transaction and then accounts balance changes in that transaction, but goes back to what it was before the transaction. I think in this case, we shouldn't record in the block level access list. And to me, this just seems a bit more consistent with how we handle zero value transfers and also self-destruct. Because if we don't do it this way, like we have these other special cases where if we kind of change it, then it all just falls under this rule, which seems kind of nice.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. And this is actually how it should have been handled from the beginning. So in the specs, it was always correct, but you are right that in the EIP, it was kind of poorly formulated, where it was not 100% clear. So I would assume the clients already handled that correctly, and we also had tests for that. So what I would propose is that we just merge your pull request there. Maybe we can slightly change the wording there. I proposed some small changes there. but yeah, curious what clients are actually doing in such cases. For transactions where the initial balance is in the specs, those were already excluded.
Yeah, in Geth we exclude them.
Yeah, it would also be good to cover this in the test because I think at the moment, Nethermind doesn't actually do it this way, but I can't see any tests that it's failing. So I think we should add something for that.
Yeah, let me ask Rahul and Felipe, as they're both on the call, maybe someone of you can give us an update. Would also work async if you don't want to put you on the spot here.
I'll review that
For
and
test case.
update in the channel.
Okay, great. Yeah, would be great if we get a test case for that, just to make sure that we're handling that correctly.
Sorry, I didn't follow at the beginning. This is about setting, for example, balance the zero balance to some target. This is the
Yeah,
case.
this is, for example, a zero value transfer, but it's
Okay.
also the case if you have a transaction and you send one ETH somewhere else, or you call a contract, the contract sends one ETH out and then receives one ETH in the same transaction. In this
Okay.
case, there was a balance change, but they zero each other out, and that's why we don't include them.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not included in the write set, but it's included as the read.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, this, yeah, okay, cool. That makes sense.
Awesome. Yeah, I see Kareem also confirms that for Peso it's also a read. Perfect. Yeah, we have many of those cases also around reverse transactions 7702. What else was there? System contract stuff, if I remember correctly, where we sometimes have to convert changes to reads, at least in the specs. But yeah, for most of those edge cases, we have tests already, and this is one that we will definitely add. Great. Is there any other open topic that we should discuss before we get to client updates?
I wanted to just mention the 7702 changes in the spec. Tony, I think you have a PR up for my branch that's open in the spec side. And I made a couple small changes there for some new tests that I added. If you could take a look and we can chat async.
Perfect. Yeah, I will take a look. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Katja?
Hi everyone. I'm Katya. I'm working on metric specs. So I also opened an issue regarding PAL metric specs. So I would like to hear from you later in the channel. So your ideas maybe. So I put some metrics which can be standardized, and if some of the clients are ready to build them, so we can have them the dashboards in Kurtosis and for DevNotes as well. So please let me know. I will Discord channel. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Sounds good. Great. Is there any other topic someone wants to raise? If not, we can also start going through the clients and checking client updates. And then, yeah, we can already start discussing when we want to do a first DevNet. Maybe we start with you, Jared.
Yeah, sure. Not too much to report on the Geth side, in the sense that it's relevant to people outside the Geth team. Basically, the last week and a half or two have been consumed by refactoring our implementation to be more clean and to get it into a mergeable state. I've been working a lot on making sure that this new refactored implementation is going to work in a local DevNet setup. Um, uh, so yeah, that's it.
Awesome. When would you say would you be ready for first DevNet?
Um, Soon. It's at the point where I mean I think it's very close, but it's just a matter of ironing out these issues that pop up when I try to run it. So, I mean, maybe a day or two. It's kind of hard to give a firm answer. I doubt it would take a week or more though.
Great, thanks for the update. Let's continue on with Nethermind.
Hi. So I fixed some issue that was causing Nethermind to, or the bowels, Nethermind bowels implementation to not run in the Hive tests. So now it's passing most of the tests on the tracker. And there's a few that are still failing around a few edge cases. So I'm just working through those and fixing them.
Thanks a lot. Let's continue on with Ref.
So we ran the new sets of the tests and had some issues with how the balances were stored in case of a nonce change tests, and we fixed it. And we also ran some stays concerning EIP-2930s, and yeah, we now have the BAL DevNet 0 branch in Reth, and the new tests that are added didn't get a chance to look into it. So we'll look into it soon and also have a bit of refactoring on the part of the code we have implemented so far.
Awesome, thanks. This also sounds like very close to being able to participate in the first DevNet, right? Let's continue on with Aragon.
Yeah, so we are just finalizing our implementation. I'm expecting to get a branch that we can merge probably on Monday next week. And then I guess by the end of the week, we'd aim to get the Hive tests all passing. Now, I think the way that we've done the implementation, we have basically a parallel engine running that we've been kind of merging over the last week or so. We now need to put the BAL stuff on top of it. Having had a look at the Discord chat, although I haven't particularly participated in it, I think most of the issues that that people are raising, we've also had and kind of fixed in our implementation. So I would hope we'll be in a good position by the end of next week. So I think probably the week after we would be ready to join a DevNet.
Great, thank you very much. And Besu.
So we are passing all of the BAL test, block access list test. We did some tests with Get on a local DevNet. So the block built by Besu are accepted by Get, and the block built by Get are accepted by Besu. So it seems that for the moment it's working. So we created a branch for the new DevNet. Just it seems that we have some issue with the Hive test, but I don't think it's related to block access list. We just have to understand what is the problem. But I think Bezo is ready as for the DevNet.
Amazing. Yeah, we're getting really close to a first DevNet, it seems like. Yeah, great work, everyone. Is there anything else we should discuss today? Great. I will then double check with Panda Ops regarding first DevNet and everything needed for that, but looks like we might get to a first DevNet next week sometime. Amazing. If there is nothing else, then I would say we can end the call a little earlier today. Awesome. Then thanks everyone, and see you at the next breakout call in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.